There seems to be a growing trend in Hollywood now where there's a lot of prominent product placement. How do you, as a filmmaker, feel about this growing trend?
Bullshit. That's how I feel. Total fucking bullshit. What is this with everybody?
No.
What is it? Really?
Only me. It's
Why?
my fault.
I'm serious. Fucking A, man. It drives me nuts. Who gives a fucking shit how long a scene is?
Hey there folks, welcome to the show. So as I'm sure most of you are aware by now, that the great one himself, the legendary David Lynch, had recently passed away. And this really does suck, and I'm pretty upset about it. But at the same time, it really doesn't come as a total surprise. I mean, the guy was 80 years old and he smoked like a chimney. But still, it does really suck that we'll never get to see another David Lynch creation again. I mean, the guy was an artist in every sense of the word. I mean, he made movies, TV shows, he wrote poetry, he made music, he was really into woodworking, and he was a big advocate for transcendental meditation.
This is a donut. It is very sweet and very good. But if you'd never tasted a donut, you wouldn't really know how sweet and how good a donut is if you'd never had that experience. Transcendental meditation is like that.
And I firmly believe that the greatest character that David Lynch ever created was David Lynch. I mean, between his personality, his quirky mannerisms, and his creativity, he was truly a unique individual. And so, in honor of his passing, and in celebration of his legacy, we're going to be taking a look at the film that started it all, the 1977 cultural phenomenon, Eraserhead. Eraserhead tells the story of your average Joe who toils away at the daily grind so he can support his wife and child, I think. And it stars one of Lynch's longtime friends and collaborators, the late Jack Nance, who would later go on to appear in other Lynch works such as Dune, Blue Velvet, and the hit television series Twin Peaks.
Fellas, don't drink that coffee. Hey, there was a fish in the percolator.
Now, not only was Eraserhead selected by the Library of Congress to be preserved in the National Film Registry, but it also happens to be famous filmmaker Stanley Kubrick's favorite movie.
And they were, met Kubrick, and Kubrick invited him up to his house that night, and he said, I want to show you my favorite film. And he showed him Eraserhead.
And so, without further ado, what do you say we get into it? The story begins here, wherever the hell here is. And then we're soon joined by our hero, Henry Spencer, who's enjoying yet another bright and pleasant afternoon as he takes a leisurely stroll around the neighborhood. And then he returns to his humble abode, where he's soon greeted by his charming neighbor, who relays a message to Henry.
A girl named Mary called on the payphone and said she's at her parents' and you're invited to dinner.
Thank you very much.
And now it's time to kick off his shoes and relax to the soothing sounds of the apartment's radiator. And after some much needed me time, Henry heads back out to pay a visit to his best girl, Mary. waits like an anxious puppy for Henry's arrival.
Dinner's almost ready.
And then Mary introduces Henry to her folks.
Hello there.
Hello. I'm very pleased to meet you.
And they all get better acquainted.
Mary tells me you're a very nice fellow. What do you do?
Oh, I'm on vacation now.
And then they all enjoy a lovely dinner.
We've got chicken tonight. Strangest damn things. They're man-made. Little damn things. Smaller than my fist. But they're new.
Do I just cut them up like regular chickens?
Sure, just cut them up like regular chickens.
I think Pops may have undercooked the chicken again. You know, maybe just put it back in the oven for a few more minutes, maybe. And Mary's mom apparently has a thing about salmonella.
You'll be all right in a minute.
And so the men have a little chat.
Well, Henry, what do you know?
Oh, I don't know much of anything.
And then Henry and Mary's mom have a little heart-to-heart.
Did you and Mary have sexual intercourse?
Well, I don't think that's any of your business.
Henry!
And then Mary's mom spills the beans that Mary got knocked up and that she had a kid.
There's a baby. It's at the hospital.
Mom!
Or at least they think it's a kid.
You're still not sure it is a baby?
It's premature, but there's a baby. After the two of you are married, which should be very soon, you can pick the baby up.
Some time passes, and Mary finally gets to bring the baby home from the hospital. And they're soon joined by the doting dad. And that night, little Junior's being a bit more fussy than usual.
Shut up!
And Mary's pretty much had enough of that shit, so she takes off to spend the night at her folks. And then little Junior starts coming down with something. And after spending most of the night caring for his sick kid, Henry gets a visit from the tiny lady that lives in the radiator. Some time passes and Mary comes back home. Henry then turns his attention to the tiny worm he keeps in the cupboard. And then the kindly neighbor lady pays a late night visit.
I locked myself out of my apartment. Can I spend the night here?
And things start to get a little steamy. And then we're all treated to a cute little ditty from the Radiator Lady.
Everything is fine in heaven. Everything is fine in...
Henry then joins her on stage, but then things start getting a little weird. And poor Henry loses his head. And then some young whippersnapper sees his opportunity and quickly snatches the discarded head. Then the kid rushes out to the local pencil factory, where he makes a quick buck selling Henry's freshly discarded head so that they can use Henry's brain matter to make the finest erasers in town.
It's okay.
Henry then wakes up to an empty bed. And soon little Junior starts raising a fuss. And I guess that with all the stress of fatherhood, combined with having an absent wife, not to mention the tiny lady who lives in the radiator, well, I guess it all made Henry lose his shit. And so he puts poor little Junior out of his misery. And then shit gets a little weird. And then Henry finds himself enshrouded in light, where he's embraced by the tiny radiator lady. The end. And that was Eraserhead. And what can you say about a movie like this? No, seriously, I want to know. What can you say about a movie like this? Because I literally have no words other than, batshit crazy. But it was definitely a unique and entertaining movie, to say the least. And according to the man himself, this is actually the most spiritual film of David Lynch's career.
Believe it or not, Eraserhead is my most spiritual film.
Mm-hmm. Elaborate on that.
No, I won't. No one sees it.
Now I have to give props to David Lynch on this one, because not only was this made with a very shoestring budget off a grant from the American Film Institute, but the newly married David Lynch was also working a full-time job so he could help support his family. And on top of doing the directing, writing, and editing of the film, he was also primarily in charge of the musical aspect too. And at the end of the day, Eraserhead would actually become a huge success, earning $7 million at the box office and establishing David Lynch as a true auteur filmmaker of our generation. And so until next time, folks, this is me to you, wishing you all the best and nothing but
Beautiful blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way. Everyone, have a great day. So, Cleveland and Lester, how does it feel to have your son and wife be the laughing stock of our town?
Shut up, Eraserhead.